hope you're sitting comfortably because I'm about to bring you to a quite uncomfortable place. Have you ever felt stuck on a tree? Well, that's where I was, and that's where my waves of transformation were put in motion. It was a hot summer afternoon in my hometown, Catanzaro, in Italy, and I was 6 years old. I was playing in a parking lot with other kids. Some were playing soccer, some were just running around. I had the brilliant idea of climbing an olive tree. At a certain point, I felt like I had gotten as high as I could, and I decided to climb back down. But I couldn't find a safe spot to place my foot. So even if I was just 5, 6 feet above the ground, I panicked. And to make things worse, I felt like nobody cared. The other kids were just ignoring me or mocking me. I was desperate until there was this guy, this little kid named Luca, just a couple of years older than me, that approached me. He was tall, skinny, but calm, and with a soft and collected voice, he told me, "Here, give me your foot." And he placed it on the right spot. And just like that, I was down from that tree, and he was back to playing with the other kids. Now, that made me think about how little time and effort it took him to help me, and how impactful his little gesture was for me. So, with that in mind, I set sail through the many waves of my life, trying to follow one and only compass: helping others. This purpose led me across 3 countries and 2 continents to become a physician, a geneticist, a chief scientific officer, an academic teacher, and much more. Every step was a wave to overcome. Every step exacted it all and gave me something. And every step left an indelible mark on me, as a person and as a professional. But did I plan for all this? Absolutely not. Like I said, I always wanted to help others, but I wasn't quite sure about the path to take. Until I had a quite unique chat with the person that would have become my future director and mentor. But it all happened outside of my control. I was attending a class in college in my very first week, and my grandfather was in town visiting me. He was aware of my doubts, and knowing I had an infatuation for genetics, he went to speak with the director of the Genetic Institute without telling me anything. So you can imagine my face when at the break, I saw my grandfather at the doorstep of the classroom calling me and saying, "Let's go, the director of the Genetics Center wants to speak with you." Me? A freshman? I didn't even know where the institute was, not to mention who was the director. But okay, I went. And I had this very insightful conversation during which the director explained to me how a path through med school and a specialization in medical genetics would have given me the clinical background knowledge to better understand the impact of genetic alterations on human health. Once again, a fundamental help to take a step in the right direction. Only this time, it came with a big change. Sometimes in life, you seek change. And sometimes, change finds you. There are changes or waves that you can't avoid or overcome. So you need to learn to surf the wave and embrace the change with courage and enthusiasm. But it is also important to realize if these new waves are pushing you too far away from your original course and your true nature. And that's where another lesson from my tree misadventure kicks in. Sometimes in life, your best option is to take a step back. Nobody knows what is the right path until you start walking on it. And it is okay to test some wrong paths before finding the right one. After all, in order to learn what we really like, we must also try something that we realize we don't like, right? Waves, just like steps, can go both ways. Forward, to lead you to explore new shores and face new challenges. And backward, to return to a more fitting current and a trajectory where you can express your true self. Just like the waves that touch the shore bring something back, so you will retain something and keep experiences even from paths that you're no longer walking. I love being a physician, even if I'm not practicing at the moment. I love being able to develop new drugs to help patients and families, even if I'm not in the pharmacological industry anymore. I love teaching and mentoring my students, even if I cannot spend all my time with them. Every wave in my professional life made me what I am now. And all the experiences that I bring with me, even the ones that might have perceived negatively at the moment, help me by adding perspectives to a complex world like today's biosciences, where careers are often subject to change, where building a multidisciplinary portfolio is becoming indispensable. We all have our set of skills and assets. Our purpose is to find the best way to put them to work while staying true to our inner compass. As we approach career-defining choices, many of us make two major mistakes. First, we don't allow ourselves any margin for error. And second, we focus exclusively on advancing in our career path to achieve work-related goals. So, the first mistake leads us to believe that if we start a path but don't pursue it to its full extent, we fail. Why are we so hard on ourselves? How can we be so certain about our life or professional choice if we can't control all the outcomes? Remember, sometimes in life you ask for change, but sometimes change may find you and transform your life scenario regardless of your plans. So in this situation, you need to understand you may not know your path yet. You might be feeling like passively going adrift in the waves of your own professional life, overwhelmed by duties and issues, but you're just passing through a life lesson. Use it. Gather whatever knowledge and expertise you can get. Absorb the energy of your workplace, the human stories, the vision of your mentors. All these things will add layers to your professional profile that you might be able to use sooner than you think. And even if you cannot control all the outcomes, there is something you can do. Be prepared, explore, learn. And sometimes in life, the best lessons come through failure. About 2 centuries ago, there was a young Czech boy whose biggest dream was to become a teacher of natural sciences. He studied very hard while working as a parish priest first and then as an Augustinian monk in Brno. He traveled to Vienna to take the exam to become a teacher and failed twice. His biggest weakness? A subject he was destined to revolutionize: biology. How can someone become a pivotal figure in a discipline he failed? Well, the name of this person was Gregor Mendel, the father of modern genetics. He possessed a methodical, organized, and even stubborn personality and conveyed his passion for natural sciences into botanical research in his monastery. By taking rigorous notes, applying precise methodology, and keeping an open and unbiased mind towards the phenomena he observed, he was able to propose the first laws of hereditary transmission, which constituted the pillars of genetics ever since, and managed to do all that without any notion of DNA, genes, chromosomes, or any other elements of molecular genetics. Genetics before genes. So for Mendel, taking a step back from what he thought was his professional destination, teaching natural sciences, was actually a blessed redirection towards a path that exalted his skills. Recognizing if we're not fit for a certain path is not a step away from our life goals. It's a step closer to realizing our true potential. The second mistake is quite common for, but not exclusive to, young people like the ones that today are in the audience. You are full of energy and ambition at your mental peak. You're committed to building a great life for yourselves and your loved ones. You're ready to overcome any wave that fate will throw. But in this exhilarating mix of positivism and vitality, you might underestimate the toll that your life choices may exact. In my professional life, I was lucky enough to experience the good, the bad, and the ugly of many careers. Many of you, for example, might be considering becoming a physician. Oh, it's a wonderful job. Perhaps the most rewarding one in terms of human experience. Saving lives, providing comfort, supporting suffering patients and families, bringing back the smile on the face of little children. But you will have to come to terms with going to work every day and facing death. Losing your freedom to emergency calls during the night. Or finding the words to tell a mother that her child is never going to be like the other kids, and there's nothing that you or anybody else can do about it. Okay, you might say, what about the calm and speculative life of an academic? Brilliant. Putting your mind to work for the present and future generations, in passing the torch of knowledge and the inquisitive thirst for discovery to new scientists, inspiring and guiding the minds that will shape the world of tomorrow. But you will also have to carry the weight of administrative duties, program deadlines, adjusting your work goals to your department priorities, chasing grants or other sources of funding to support your research. Wait, funding is a problem, you said? Well, then go to pharma. Good choice. You'll get a great feeling of having a direct and meaningful impact on other people's lives. If you're lucky enough, you may actually get to work on the topic of your dreams and feel like you're making a difference. You're contributing to creating something more concrete than an academic paper or an inspiring lecture. But a career in pharma is always linked to the results you can generate. And we already saw how you cannot always control all the outcomes. It is subject to the interest of the board and the shareholders, to the social, economic, and political implications of your work or the work of your colleagues. You must relinquish your intellectual ingenuity to the company and channel all your skills and assets into the quarterly goals. And I can continue listing a con for every pro. So, how can we choose? How can we avoid or fix this second mistake? Well, there is no magic recipe, no universal standard. But there is something you should keep in mind. Always try to balance life and work. It is okay to invest time and energies, especially at a younger age, into establishing solid fundamentals for your professional careers, aiming to collect later the fruits of your labor. But you must remember, the years you spend focusing exclusively on work include Sundays and holidays, evenings to spend with family and friends, weekends for relaxing trips, or just lazy hours on the couch. You're more than your work badge. And in order to reach your full potential, you need to live your life to the fullest. One way or another, your sailing journey through the waves of transformation will eventually end. It will teach you. It will inspire you. It will challenge you. It will change you. You want to be ready to face any wave. But most of all, you want to have a firm hand on a helm to make sure that you find and keep the course that will lead you safely to your own harbor, realizing the potential of your true self. Thank you.